When we talk about billionaires, we tend to mean either US dollar billionaires or pound sterling billionaires, as opposed to the Scottish billionaires, which is anyone with some chips left in the bottom of their bag. One of the world's weirdest billionaires is G.T. Dave, who made a fortune selling kombucha, a beverage for those who like to combine the invigorating taste of a cheesemonger's perineum with the unmistakable flavour of backsplash from a Wetherspoon's urinal. In this haunting clip, the chisel-faced king of kombucha gives Forbes magazine an eerie tour of his terrifyingly hygienic life.
When I started kombucha, there was no such thing. I believe that kombucha would not be where it is if it wasn't for those humble beginnings that I experienced in the 90s. And over the 25 years that I've been making raw kombucha, we really have paved the way. I believe when you color outside the lines, you really give yourself permission to be different and to celebrate that difference. My parents, at a very early age in my life, took me to India. It was in the early 90s that a friend turned them on to a kombucha culture. And then they started to share it with friends and family, and then I started to notice that people loved it, but then would always come back and be like, so it was hard to make it myself. How about I just buy it from you guys?
I don't want to sound like Elon Musk, but is that a real person? Yeah. It felt like we were watching a documentary about what the T-1000 did next. Yeah. Do you know what? You know, after I finished dressing as a policeman looking for John Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger, I discovered kombucha, so...
Yeah, it's also like, I hate to make things all about race. That's not true, I love it. But there is a thing when a white person says, I discovered something, your immediate thing is like, so what brown person have you nicked this off?
What concerns me was that kitchen is too clean. You get a UV light on that, you're gonna have like, fucking help me written in cum somewhere or something like that.
He probably keeps his victims alive for weeks and bastes them in kombucha. I wonder if his serial killer name, once his crimes are revealed, will be the CumButcher. You heard it here first. When the pyramid of wealth and power does collapse, those at the very top have got the furthest to fall. This recent slick piece from Vice gave us an insight into the desperate plans being made by the super-rich to survive the apocalypse.
There's going to be, you know, the social unrest that leads to your undoing, which is why these same people are looking at creating bomb shelters, going to Australia or New Zealand. The question we ended up spending the majority of time on was, how do I maintain control of my security force after my money is worthless? So one of the things I was thinking, you know, we could do shock collars. You know, get them to wear shock collars so I could, you know, zap them if they're gonna go off and they understand that that's the price. I mean, shock collars, really? You really think shock collars are gonna work? They're gonna wait till you're asleep in order to grab the little control button. It's just not gonna work.
Part of me does want to see Mark Zuckerberg trying to wrestle a shock collar onto Andy McNabb.
Look, I'm just gonna say, I can tell you personally, having worked as a dominatrix, putting a shock collar on a Navy SEAL is where the fun starts. That is not gonna do anything to deter them, I promise you.
You know, when you're thinking, how do I compensate my personal militia in my gated community when society is broken down? Do you think at any point it occurs to any of them they could just go, or we could just pay income tax?
Yeah.
It's like if I was sat in my bedroom at Christmas with all the toys, all the chocolates, all the food, as per... No, but I'm there. I know, but I was there. And then all my kids and family are downstairs with nothing, and I'm thinking, they're definitely going to go on a turn in a minute. Like, but still, ah. You know what I mean? Like...
Do you not think there'll be a lovely irony when the day comes when Jeff Bezos has a delivery taken to the bunker next door?
I would rather walk into the centre of a nuclear blast than spend 10 minutes underground with Bezos in a hot tub with his testicles bobbing about like hairy frog spawn.
No, and also, they don't know anything about how the world works because they're planning on doing this in Australia and they think they're going to be able to keep Australians out. I'm a cricket fan. You can't keep Australians out anywhere. They will appear and you will not even know how they managed to put... Like, Jeff Bezos is going to turn around. There's going to be a bloke called Shane there. He flips up just going, sorry, Jeff, I've left a turn in the hot tub.
But the sport we're going to have in post-apocalyptic society of finding where these bunkers are and just winkling these people out.
Yeah.
Just, you know, stuffing stuff in the ventilation grates and watching them fucking pour out.
All I keep thinking about now is how good a film The Bodyguard would have been if Whitney Houston had just put a shot collar on Kevin Costner.
Every Kevin Costner film.
Well, that's the end of the show. Thanks to my guests, Nish Kumar, Desiree Butch, Alex Brooker and Laura Smith. Good night. Go.